Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to if you want to. Um, Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Sun is shining over here, which is super nice. So good morning. How is everybody doing? So my name is Tina, and I'm 54 years old, and I come on here to share my health journey, my story, how I was able to heal myself naturally without any medication. And it's kind of a big deal because it's something that they don't talk about when you go to the doctors, and that's okay. There's two different, the doctor is the doctor of medicine, right? So their job is to give you medicine. I was able to reverse my type 2 diabetes I was a really bad diabetic in June of last year. I was a 11.5, which is a big number, which is really high. It was my fasting glucose, my fasting sugars were 292, which is very high, and my A1C was 11.5, which was very high, which is double. A normal A1C, if you don't know, is like a 5.7 or below. So I was double, which is scary, right? A lot of things can happen in that, in that case. I was on the fast track to going blind, losing limbs, because you obviously diabetics lose limbs. I was type 2 diabetic, right? So I want to make sure I say that, because there is a difference between type 1 and type 2. So I was a type 2. I ate my way there. I did that to myself. I became a type 2 diabetic from my eating and my lifestyle. So that's what happened with that. So this was in June of last year. I went to the doctor, just a regular physical. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel like there was any problems. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Tina. I'm just giving you a quick background of my health, who I am, what I'm doing in here, what I'm sharing, and then I'll get into what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is how you can reverse your diabetes naturally. And you doesn't have to be a diabetic. You could be a pre-diabetic, just not healthy, you're not feeling good in your skin. There's things that you can do, right? So the reason why I want to share it is because I didn't learn that in my doctor's office. I went in to the doctor's, and she said my only option for my high A1C was to stop my medication and my shot. She said she was going to call in 2 pills, like the pills that everybody takes that are diabetics, right? The metformin and my shot, which I think was Trulicity, and then that was what was gonna fix me. And so I was, listening to her, and she gave me the diagnosis of a type 2 diabetic, and she said, those are your options. You have to pick up the medication on your way home today, start it, and in 90 days we'll come back and we'll up your medication. That's what got me right there. That was good morning, Patty Dog. How are you? That was what got me that right there, was when she said, when you come back, this is like a floaty thing. When you come back in 90 days, we're going to up your medication. And maybe call me old fashioned, but I feel like if you're on medication, shouldn't it get better? Like, why are you already ready to up it? Maybe because she thought I was going to adjust to it. I don't know what she thought, but I didn't do it. I didn't go to CVS and pick up the medication. I quickly learned with a little research and a little bit of, getting lucky and following some amazing people, that I was able to learn there's a nutraceutical, a natural way to reverse my diabetes. And so it was, it took some time. It took me 8 months to do it, but it took me years to become a diabetic. So I think 8 months was definitely I think 8 months was not bad, right? Because I started off with, good morning, Malcolm. How are you today, my friend? It's good to see you. So I didn't think 8 months was a long time, right? So it took me years. My body had symptoms. So that was basically my story, is that I started last year with diagnosis of type 2 diabetic, very, very dangerously, to the point that I was going to either get worse or better. And then in 8 months, I was able to reverse it naturally. And that's what I want to share with you, right? So I had the symptoms, and I'm going to list some of the symptoms, because you may not be diagnosed as a diabetic. You could be a pre-diabetic and not know it, or just don't feel good in your skin. And there's some signs that I excused away. I had excuses for everything that I felt. And so that's what I want to talk about with you, right? So I'm going to tell you what my symptoms were, and tell me if they sound familiar. And it doesn't have to be you. It could be somebody that you know, an aunt, an uncle, a brother, a friend, somebody that complains about these things. So, share it with them if you feel like it, because it could make a difference to them, right? So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so symptoms. My number one symptoms, world class, the fatigue is real. Rolling Rock, how are you? Good morning, how are you? Yeah, fatigue is real. I was super, super exhausted, I can tell you that. Yeah, that was one of the things. Okay, so I just didn't feel okay in my body. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm getting older. Things are going to change. This is how it's going to be. Hi, Josephine. How are you? So I thought, okay, I don't feel good in my body. I'm getting older. I know I wasn't very active. I know I wasn't eating very well. Maybe those are signs that that's what happened, right? So that's it. So neuropathy, I don't know if anybody knows anything about neuropathy, but that's that tingling in your fingers and your toes. It actually, at night, it was more burning than it was tingling. So that's something that was a terrible thing. Neuropathy, skin tags. And skin tags is not for older people. Skin tags is for people with insulin resistance. They're on your neck. That's the main spot that I saw. I had mine. I don't have them anymore, so that's great. IBS. IBS was mortifying to me. It was, I don't know if anybody has IBS or knows anybody that does, but it really can take over your world because you're worried about that moment, right? When you have the dumping or something like that. So IBS was terrible. PCOS for women. I had PCOS to the point that my doctor ended up giving me a hysterectomy. And the part that blows my mind about the hysterectomy is that I may not have had to have it had I had that conversation with my doctor about my being insulin resistant. That never came up in the conversation. It was, you're a type 2 diabetic. Leading up to it, it was, okay, lose a little bit of weight. Your sugars are getting higher. Eat 6 small meals. Eat 6 small meals to raise your metabolism, eat less, move more. Those were the 2 forms of information that I received from my doctor's office about my health, was to eat 6 small meals a day to raise my metabolism. And it was also to eat less and move more. That was it, unfortunately. And I'm not blaming my doctor. I'm an adult. I could have done some research. I maybe could have gone to go see a nutritionist. I don't know. I didn't do any of those things. I'm just saying, that's something that I didn't do. So, okay, so my signs: neuropathy, skin tags, IBS, PCOS, which was terrible, and I ended up having a hysterectomy because of it. Eczema, blur vision in my eyes, which is insulin resistance in your eyes. Brain fog, depression, I have terrible ear ringing and my belly fat. But the depression is a real thing. If your stomach is connected to your brain in some way, right? So let me just say, I'm not a doctor. I am in school to be a certified nutritionist, but I'm not a doctor or a nurse. I am somebody who 100% lived this life for 8 months, and I want to share it with you because I want to pay it forward because I feel amazing and I was able to reverse my situation. So I feel like I have the right, I have to pay it forward and tell people what I did, because if it's not you may have these signs down the road and maybe like, hey, I remember that lady was talking about it, so this is why I want to talk about it. So depression is a real thing. So there's many reasons for you to be depressed. But if your gut health is wrong, if you have a bad gut, that can completely, because you don't feel right. Everything feels weird. Everything feels wrong. You get depression. You don't feel good about yourself. And that's what I did, right? I didn't feel good about myself. So I would just hide in my room, or I would just do what I had to do and come in my room. I definitely never would have done this. I never would have come on live and share my story. I just didn't feel good about myself. I was always covering myself up with coats or bigger sweatshirts or anything to cover myself, so I wasn't showing myself who I was. That's the one thing. So depression is a real thing. And if your gut health isn't healthy, it can trigger those things. So that was one thing that I was happy that on the new system that I'm on and the ways that I changed my life, that I was able to reverse my mood. I don't get that feeling anymore, right? I never would have wore this shirt. I know it sounds silly to you, but I never would have wore, it's not a tight shirt, but it's like tighter than I never would have worn. I would have always worn bigger, oversized, because that was my comfort zone. That could be you. Let me know if this is you, if you just don't feel good in your skin. So this was symptoms that I had. Other symptoms of insulin resistance. For men, there's ED, erectile dysfunction. Like I told you, the skin tags, brain fog. Brain fog is a serious sign because could be type 3 diabetes. Type 3 diabetes is now dementia and Alzheimer's. I had that in my family. I had dementia and Alzheimer's in my family. So that was a scary one to learn, because I don't know that it's hereditary, but my type 2 diabetes is not hereditary. Type 1 can be, type 2 is not, because it's a diuretic, like you can get it yourself. The only way, and I've learned this in class, the only way that type 2 can be hereditary is if you learn habits. It's habits, right? If you learn habits from, hi Grace, good morning. I love that name. If you learn bad habits growing up, if you see your parents eating fatty food, processed foods, it's a habit, right? So it's what you ate. That's what that's your type 2 is. Okay, so those are the symptoms I want to talk about. So if you have any symptoms, if you have neuropathy, if you have PCOS, anything, put it in the comments. Let me know what symptoms you have, because I guarantee you, I felt that way myself. And so, I just want to go with that. Okay, so stick with me. I'm going to show you a picture of, if my thing is charged, sorry. I forgot to plug in my iPad, so I don't know if it's charged now. Oh, it is. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of how I felt back in June. Let's figure I can unplug this. I only have 10%, so I'm going to show you quickly. I want to show you, oh, good morning, Cajun. So thank you very much for the follow. I'll follow you back. So I want to show you how I felt in June. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 pictures of how I felt in June. And the reason why I'm showing this to you is that June wasn't that long ago. Yes, it's already almost been a year, but not really, right? So this is, be nice, because I don't like the way I looked. But this is the way I was in June. See how swollen my face was? I have a coat on because I was hiding my shame of being overweight, which is nothing to be shameful of, but that's what I felt, right? So this is how I felt. Super, super swollen. And see my fingers are so swollen. I had inflammation all over the place, right? So I have some more work to go, right? I'm not completely out of the woods. I have about probably another 20 pounds to lose, and then I'll be at a healthy weight for my age. But this is the other one I want to show you. Okay, so this is my side by side. So this was a little bit like maybe end of May. But see, I have a coat on again. I have a coat on and super swollen. You can see my belly and my legs. Everything is swollen. And this picture was not too far after. This was, I took it as the weather started getting a little bit nicer, right? So I've lost so much. I've lost 40 pounds and I've lost a ton of swelling. I've lost, my IBS is gone. The ringing in my ears is gone. Anybody have that? Ringing your ears? It's a horrible feeling. I'm just going to plug that back in. So, I no longer have neuropathy. Does anybody know anything about neuropathy? How terrible it is? Please share in there if you've ever experienced it, or anybody that experienced it's terrible. No longer have neuropathy. I don't have skin tags. They came off. My IBS is gone. My eczema is gone. Blur vision. I actually went to the doctors and my eyes are getting better. And my depression is gone. I have a better mood. Ear ringings I've lost a lot in my belly. Like I said, I got another 20 more pounds to go. And this is all from just changing my diet, from a changing lifestyle. I didn't take a single medication. I didn't take anything, outside of just eating better, exercising, and the Feel Great system. So that's what I'm here to share with you. I'm going to share with you something that completely changed my life and has changed the lives of people around me, people who I know and the new people that I meet, right? So it was not easy. There's some changes I had to make. I had to make some decisions in my life. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I have to do this, right? So you have to, user 773A, thank you very much for the follow. I'll follow you as soon as I get off. So I did it naturally, and just some lifestyle changes. And I'm not going to go crazy on my lifestyle changes. I'll just let you know quickly what I did. So the first thing that I did was I started exercising. I had a very sedentary job. I wasn't exercising. I started exercising, and it wasn't a lot. I started walking slow, a little bit of walking, working my way up. And then quickly I learned, in my situation as a type 2 diabetic, the best way to control my glucose, which is what I had too much of in my body from eating high carbs, it was just floating around in my body, is muscle training. I never realized how great I was going to feel. Oh, Cajun, thank you so much. I never realized how great I was going to feel muscle training. I feel like a rock star. I feel stronger, and I just feel so much better. And I've just switched my exercising. So I still go to the gym every day. I do a little bit of cardio. I know cardio is important, but the weather's getting nicer, so I'm going to start walking again. But cardio, a little bit of cardio, and more muscle training. And I'm still learning the different exercises. I have a brand new gym over the hill, Planet Fitness. They have all these little spots that you can work out, and I completely enjoy it. There are these little benches with all the weights in it, right? So I'll just do weights, and it feels great. So muscle training is huge, and I'm learning so much. I have 3 amazing sons who go to the gym, and they're teaching me so much about it. But anybody, please put any comments in the comment section. If any questions or comments, I'll keep talking, but I want to make sure that if there's anybody that needs anything from me, please know that you can reach out to me. Up top is my phone number. If you're international, you can WhatsApp me. I'm on WhatsApp, and that is my phone number and my email address. And please, 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 I want to pay it forward with how I feel. I think everybody deserves to feel good, feel great, and that's one thing that I wanted to do. So I learned about a natural product that which I didn't, obviously I didn't know anything about it. We hear about all of these diet products online, but this one got me a little bit, because when I came on and I was learning about it, it was about me. It was about my, my diabetes, and it was able to help me with my glucose, which I didn't know anything about. It was able to help me with my insulin resistance, thank you, Malcolm, which I didn't know anything about. I didn't learn these things at the doctor's office, and that's okay, because, the doctor, an MD is a doctor of medicine. They're not, good morning, Malcolm. Thank you so much for being here. An MD, so I talk about how my doctor isn't happy with me by reversing my diabetes naturally. She was very disappointed in me for doing it naturally, even though now I'm 5.2 and I'm no longer diabetic. When I went to the doctor's last week, she said, you need to still pick up the metformin so that you don't go back to being a diabetic. It's mind-blowing to me, but she probably thinks it's mind-blowing to her that I did this without medication, that I didn't heed her warning. Her warning to me was that in June, if I didn't pick up the medication, I was going to go blind, lose my limbs, organs were going to shut down. All of these things were going to happen. And it didn't happen. I had to change my ways, like I told you. May I ask, you don't need check? Oh, I do, actually. I don't need to check it, Malcolm, but I do. You know why? Because I'm proud of myself. I check it because, I time restrict eat. I don't eat all day long. I start at like noontime, and I always check it or I will tell you, I check it if I feel a little bit different. Like if I feel like maybe my sugar is getting too low, I do check it throughout the day. It's on my desk, right? So if I feel different, I'll check it. Sometimes I get into like a groove of checking because I kind of proud of myself that my my sugars are down a 90, and I don't know how to translate over to you. I know that you have a different metric system. So I stay about 79 to 90 is where my sugars stay. Even if I eat, it maybe gets to 100, but that's about it. But I do check it. Sometimes I'm more on a roll of checking it all the time, but not always. But I will check it if I feel, if I feel like I feel different, right? Do you check yours all day long? Like, I don't mind doing it. It depends on my feeling. Plus, I've been at this for a while, so I've been at this for 8 months. I kind of get used to what my body feels, and I know that I'm under, but I also know that I got to be very careful with what I eat. I can't just go back to eating a hog wild, eating whatever I want. I want to stay on a healthy journey. So I know that morning, lunch, and dinner. So good. And do you find, is there certain parts of your day? So I've learned that your glucose, your sugar reading could be higher in the morning. It's because your body is going into your out, because you don't eat when you're sleeping. It goes out into your body and eats your love handles, and it would start when you wake up in the morning. Your body, your morning. And I didn't understand that because I'm thinking, how is my morning glucose high? And I learned in class, they taught me that the reason why is when you wake up, your body's gonna okay, we need energy, so it's gonna start grabbing glucose, for energy, and so it grabs it. What's in your body, what you've already got stored, it grabs it, so it's going to stop being higher because it's going to show, oh, thank you, Poetic. I appreciate the follow. It's going to boost your reading, because of that. That's how, because your body uses it for energy to wake up and get your brain moving and everything like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting because I asked that. It's like, why is it, if I haven't eaten all night, why is it high? And that's why. So then I wonder, when you go to the doctors and get your blood work done, even if you're not eating, could you have a higher reading because your body's going to grab the glucose, whatever. Those are just when you start thinking about it. Okay, so I learned quickly about a natural protocol that has completely changed my life and thousands of people as well, not just me, right? So what it did for me was I was eating 6 small meals a day, which I had to stop that. Way too much glucose. And I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying for me, it was way too much because I work from a desk, so I'm not out working and burning calories. I wasn't doing that. So everything that I was eating, I don't need that much energy to type, right? So my body was just storing it. So that's how I gained my weight, and that's how I got in the bad situation. So I don't eat all day. I no longer eat the 6 small meals a day. I do time restricted eating, TRE. And I started slow. I started at 10 hours. I wasn't eating 11, 12, working my way up to 16 and 8. 16 and 8 is kind of what works for me. Everybody has a different, some people don't do it. I'm not saying you have to. If you do time restrict eat, fasting, I can only say that once, you should, you can, do what's good for your body what's good for you. I'm just saying this will work for me. Because now my body is eating what I've already had stored. I'm making better choices of the meals that I'm eating because I'm only going to have 2 meals. I don't snack. Although I was a huge snacker, I'd be at work bored. I'd be at work bored and I'd be snacking. So that was a little bit tough to give up. Like the eating all day was a little bit tough to give up, and the snacking was a little bit tough to give up. But I quickly learned that the system that I'm on, the Feel Great system that I'm on, the tea, and which actually I started making it hot just yesterday. Before I would always drink it cold right away, but the hot, I feel like it's my coffee. I don't drink coffee. I'll have coffee if I want it, but I don't have coffee. Good morning, Veronica. But this, I feel like in the hot, it's pretty cool. I like it. I like it hot. And we have some other flavors that I think would be great hot. There's an apple cider that comes out in the fall. I'm going to try that hot. I have a little bit of that left. But anyway, so this natural product. So the reason why I want to talk about it with you is it helped me along with my lifestyle changes, which is lifestyle. For the rest of my life, I have to do these things, right? Because I feel like I'm a diabetic in recovery. I know that sounds silly, but very easily can go back to being a type 2 diabetic, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to go back to the big girl with the coat on in the summertime because, I'm uncomfortable, right? So the system that I'm on, okay, so it started with the balance, right? So the balance, there's 2 parts that I'm on, right? I'll just do the smaller one. It's these 2 little small packets that I have, right? So it's these 2 little small packets that I do. The Unimate, which is my tea. It's so good. Keeps the food hunger down. I don't get that food noise like, okay, it's time to eat. Let's eat something. I don't get that because of that. That helps me with that. Plus I've taught, over time, like I told you, it's been 8-9 months, maybe even a little bit longer. I've had to teach my body, okay, listen, you don't need to eat all day long. I know, I wish I was. I am Yvette. Do you know Yvette? Good morning, John. So happy that you're here. I wish I was on. I'm on Yvette's team, and she blows my mind. I love her. This is the one that came on this is how I came home from the diabetic. My doctor said you're type 2 diabetic. I came home. I sat in this chair and I was pouting, and I flipped on here on TikTok, and she, I don't know if you've ever seen Yvette's videos. She's very straight. She's like, if you have these things, you're insulin resistant. And she listed everything that I had, right? Good morning. Oh, 842. I wonder if that's Logan. Oh no, maybe it's not. Okay. So if you might have seen her on here. It's Yvette Oxford. She's a dietetic nurse. You must have. She's got long blonde hair. But I came on and she said, I was just watching it. She said, if you have, PCOS, brain fog, I forget what she listed. She's like, you have insulin resistance and you could do something about it. And so that's what really got me. John, I'm going to follow you right after, but that's who got me. Like, are you joking me? Like, I felt like she was like coming through the phone, shaking me like, listen, you could do something about this. Let's do it. So that's what was amazing to me. Okay. So again, I ran into Yvette and she talked about this product that she was this healthy product that would help the system, the protocol. And I was skeptical, of course, because like there's 1,000 diet things out there. And I'm like, well, I've tried it all. Obviously I haven't tried it all, but I thought I did, right? So she's talking about it. So I just did my research, right? And I did my research about it. And I learned that this is a company that's 100 years old. So it's been around for a long time. It started back, it was called Rexall when it started, right? It's like 1903 or something like that. And then they created, they created what's called I just want to make sure I get the right name of it. They created what they call, Bio's Life in 1990, because back then, things were starting to change. The 80s, they started changing our food, and Bio's Life was created in 1990. And it was basically this. And actually, Bio's Life is still in here. Bio is in here, but a little bit better, right? So they created this. This thing is amazing. I know I've talked about the tea already, but this is, I know, John. But I have to say, I do it because I feel like I want to share people my story that I was able to reverse my diabetes in 8 months. I was an 11.5. I know you might not have been in the beginning, but I was an 11.5, and then I was a 5.2 in 8 months from the system and lifestyle changes. So I feel like I should pay it forward and share, even if it's one thing that you get out of it that you could maybe do some research on your own, because researching it in your knowledge is the most important thing. So if you could do that, that's the reason why I talk about it. Like, don't take my word for gospel, except for it may trigger you something to do some research for yourself. That's basically what I want you to do. Okay, so like I told you, so it's Rexall. It started 100 years ago, so you can't go over 100 years ago. You can't go wrong with it, right? So they did start with the balance. So this balance is my fiber, right? So I quickly learned that fiber is really important. Have you ever heard of dumping syndrome? I know it sounds terrible, but people, like when you eat something and it says, oh, it's going right through you, that's what happens. So celiac disease or gluten allergy are what I learned in school that were the most popular ones that you'd recognize, right? So when you eat something, it gets to your stomach pushes it to your small intestines, and you have all these cilia, like little fingers in your intestines, taking the nutrients and pushing it through. If you have a reaction to it, or to that gluten or whatever you eat that you have a reaction to, those cilia things will pull back into the intestine, and that will just sit in your stomach, right? The glucose, the gluten. And so that's how that happens. It'll take, hi Sherry. So now that gluten or whatever it is that you have a reaction to in your stomach is going to sit in there, because those little cilia things aren't pushing it through anymore and taking the nutrients. Because usually if it's something it likes, like say you eat a piece of chicken, the cilia will get to it, grab the nutrients from it and put it into the bloodstream, which goes into your cells for energy, or your brain. The human body blows my mind how complex it is. It's pretty amazing. So if it gets there and there's a reaction to it, they'll pull back. And that's how you'll not always, but that you can get blood in your stool from that, because when they pull back, some of them can break. So it'll put blood in your stool. See, who would have thought that? And I'm not saying, please don't think that's what it is. If you have that, definitely reach out to your doctor, but you can get blood in your stool from that happening, from those pulling back. Hi, Brenda. So, anyway, so those little cilias won't do it. So then your body has to push water through to get that food out. That's how it goes right through you, right? So it's kind of crazy how that happens. But fiber, that's what I was getting to. I go way off track. Fiber can slow that down, because all those little cilia things, in the microbiomes in your stomach, they need nutrients. And if you're only eating a carb-heavy meal, it's like I was strictly carb-heavy. I was having 6 meals of carbs. It was mind-blowing. But there's nothing for them to hold on to, right? They'll grab the sugar, but then my body's already like, listen, there's too much sugar out here. I don't need any more sugar, right? Hi, Brian. So, if you don't have any nutrients to give it, this fiber to me has been a life changer, and it's a very small packet. And I want to show you about it, because women are supposed to have 25 grams of fiber a day. Men are supposed to have 38 grams of fiber a day. Have you ever measured your fiber? How are you going to do that? You can do it. You can go to the store and buy that much, and you can eat that much. You 100% can. But that's a lot for me, so I have a list here from school that I printed out to show you guys. All right. So this little packet is 8 grams of fiber. And the reason why I'm showing that to you, it's just small. I mix it in a little cup like this, right? So to get the same amount, okay, so for instance, a banana has 2 grams of fiber. You need to eat 4 bananas, which I like bananas, but that's a lot. Especially as a diabetic, that's too much. I can't have that much sugar, right? So it seems like a terrible circle, right? So to have, what could you eat that wouldn't be high in sugar? So say, all right, almonds has 0.7 grams of soluble fibers. And of course, I don't know how much that would be. Oh, 1 ounce. So you'd have to have 8 ounces of almonds. Again, I could do it, probably shouldn't. But so this is 2 of these a day is already 16. And I only need 25 as a woman for healthy digestion. So that helps me with that for one reason, gives me the amount of fiber that I need for the day. Also, your stomach has a coating. Do you know this? Your stomach has a coating that it'll get from fiber or from foods, right? It has a coating. And if your coating breaks down, look, when I was eating terrible carbs, I wasn't eating enough to help my coating. That's how leaky gut starts. Like that coating, that mucus coating will break off a little bit, and you can get ulcers and leaky gut. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Thought that was pretty crazy. So this fiber helps coat my stomach. It half fills up my stomach, and it sends a signal to your brain, like a satiating, stretching, feeling. So your brain will know you're full, by the stretching of your stomach, right? That's a sign that it'll tell your stomach will say to your brain, okay, listen, we're full down here. We don't need any more. This helps. It swells in my stomach because it turns into like a gel, right? So I drink it kind of quickly, shake it, drink it quickly. I swallow it, obviously, and then it swells in my stomach. So then my brain is like, all right, I'm almost full. I don't need to eat as much. So now on my plate, I got to be careful what I eat because I'm not going to be able to eat as much. So that's how I change my food. I start having protein, vegetables. I do eat carbs. They're not my enemy. Carbs are not your enemy, but they can't be your main lifeline because that's what it was for me. So I have my protein, which I thoroughly enjoy. You can measure it by your hand. There's different ways to measure how much you have. I have food freedom. I don't measure calories any longer. I don't measure because I know what I'm eating. Like if I wasn't eating protein and vegetables, and maybe I need to measure them, but I don't measure carbs any longer. I have food freedom and I enjoy it. I enjoy many different options. So now by the time I'm done with my protein and my vegetables or whatever I have for dinner or lunch, I will, hi Carrie, I will have carbs. I'm not afraid of them because this little fiber packet, that gooey stuff will grab. So to back it up a little bit, I now mix it with the Stronghold together, which I don't know if you've heard about that before, but the Stronghold together, it'll take that glucose and put it into my muscles, and use it for energy like it's supposed to. Because I don't give it enough all day long like I used to. So now glucose, although everything can turn into glucose, right, when you eat it, but it's not as much, right? So my muscles need it. So it'll grab it and it'll store it in the muscles like it's supposed to. So the system alone has taught me so much. It's taught me that I don't need to eat all day long, that I can have a very healthy meal because food is not the most important thing anymore. I don't have that food noise. My brain isn't like, let's eat like it used to be, right? Because I drink this all day long and, it keeps you from feeling hungry. I don't feel hungry during the day. So I've learned that food is not the most important thing. I've saved a ton. Even though I'm buying healthier foods at the grocery store, I'm not buying a bunch of crazy stuff because I don't need snacks anymore, right? So I just focus on the proteins and the vegetables. And like I said, I do have carbs. Carbs are not my enemy. They had too much of a hold on me because I was eating too much of it. So it becomes like dessert, right? So Brenda, I hope you try it. I hope it works out for you. I'm telling you right now, if you knew me June last year, you'd be like, I would never come on and talk about it. But how much this whole life has changed, my lifestyle has changed. Between exercising, going to the gym, who would have thunk it? Coming on live and talking about my life and just feeling great and having a positive attitude. I'm 54 and I feel better than I did when I was 40. Yes, I'm 54 and you guys are probably like, you're an old lady, but I don't feel that way. I don't have that. I don't have the neuropathy. I don't have the stomach issues. The brain fog is gone. My eyes are getting better. And it's all from food. That's the part that blows my mind. There's a great show on Fox Nation, which I had to subscribe to it. It wasn't something that was already on my TV, but it's called Fox Nation. And there's a show called Toxic. And it's like a documentary. And it was mind-blowing. It kind of gave the background of how food went from what it used to be, right? So, back in the day when I was younger, there wasn't obesity like there is now. There wasn't diabetes like there was now. There wasn't, everything then was because things was like one nutrient foods. They didn't have the money, right, to eat everything that they want to do. Hi, Ralphine, how are you? So, things were different then. So in the 80s, when the food changed, when the big guys learned how to take the fiber, which is this little guy, my little packet here, my fiber, out of your diet, and they learn how to make food addicting because you like hungry, you want more, and you always feel hungry. You ever just eat something and you're like, why am I hungry again? Because your body's now insulin resistant because you've had too much glucose, too many carbs, too much processed food. Unfortunately, our diet, the all-American diet, and everywhere possibly is just not everywhere, because I've heard some really great things of other countries have very much better diets than we do here, but the all-American diet is so processed. So changing that, your mindset that like, I don't need to stop at the fast food store. Because for instance, I've saved so much money, I don't go get a bagel and cream cheese, like I used to in coffee, or stop at McDonald's, or And there's nothing wrong with those places. I think they're great. My kids growing up playing sports, they saved my life more than once, right? Because the kids were starving. But now at my age, I don't need it because I can just I'll drink my drink and just go on my day. I drink it I drink it with me, take it with me in this and just drink it and I enjoy it. And it tastes great. I do the lemon. My daughter-in-law loves lemon ginger. She's a little spicier than me, but I like just the lemon. I'm kind of a plain Jane. But, and it just keeps that food noise down. I don't think about food. My skin is cleared up. And it's all because of what I was doing to myself. The way I was eating, I didn't do any background. I felt like, okay, my doctor said eat 6 small meals a day. That's what I'm going to do. I didn't do any research on it. I 100% blame myself. I'm an adult. I should have done some research on it. I didn't do that. Whatever. I can't go back. But that's why I'm here to tell you guys. I just want to share it with you, how amazing it is. Like I said, you can be skeptical about it. I don't blame you a bit. There are a lot of different diets, but let me tell you one thing that I know firsthand. I've done it all. I did the ones when you go count the points, when you go get weighed in once a week. I've done the ones with the meals that are pre-made. I've done the soup diet. I've done all of the diets I've done. And I'm not knocking any of them because I think everybody's different, that it could work for you. It just didn't work for me. I would lose a little bit of weight, but as soon as I stopped it and went back to my regular life, because my regular life was so unhealthy, I just gained it back. So this way, I'm not going to do that. I'm not, because this gives me the nutrients that I need, that my body needs. Because there's more vitamins in this little pack than I would eat, what I would get, vitamin A, B, the double B, the B6 and B12, the different numbers, I forget all the different numbers, but there's a ton of vitamins in just that little. So not only does this, oh, sorry, I showed you the wrong one. This right here, this the balance, the fiber. Not only is it giving you the fiber that you need, but it gives you other nutrients that you don't get. And it's all natural. It is an all natural, tested, the clinic, the number one heart clinic in the world did a study on it and said if this was taken consistently, and that's the other thing. Some people you have to be consistent with things, and that's the other thing. So if you do try the system, however you try it, you need to be consistent. You don't have to be perfect. That's why I called my live that. You have to be consistent. You're human. If you go to a party and you want to have cake, but have your fiber first, right? Because you want it to get rid of that. You don't want to do the spike. And the reason why you don't want the spike is because if you get the spike in sugar and up and down, that's when you get hungry. You have a spike, you feel good, it drops, you get hungry. So try to avoid the spike, take your fiber. I have a little water bottle that I'll take with me, a regular water bottle, mix it. I'm not ashamed. And I drink it before I eat something that maybe I shouldn't, right? And so this is what happens, right? So this will keep you from getting that spike. So my A1C, when I went to the doctor, absolutely, you ask me anything, you want. So I went to the doctor for a regular physical and I had to have blood work done. She has us come in and get blood work done. She checks everything. And that's when I discovered my A1C was 11.5. And that was in June of last year, June of 2025. It was 11.5, which is dangerous. 5.7 is normal, right? A little bit above, till 6.2, I think, something like that is pre-diabetes. I was double diabetic, 11.5. Not double diabetic, but you know what I mean? It was twice as high. And so it was scary. It was a scary thing. But now I'm a 5.2. So that is huge. And that, to me, at my age, and I still work full time. I still work behind the desk, so it's not like I went out and got a super active job. I keep the same job, but I just eat better, not as much, keep up with my system, the 2 little packets. So this is the other thing. So I do this 3 times a day. Oh, thank you so much. And please reach out to me if you have any questions. I would love to share it with you. I feel so great. So it's in it, the money. So let's talk money. Everybody's to talk money because everybody's on a budget. Oh, I am anyways. I don't spend, I used to go to Dunkin' down the street and I would have a bagel and a coffee, which I'm going to say is about $6. It could have been more. I don't really know, $6 or $7. I don't do that any longer, right? I don't eat breakfast because I don't start eating until noontime, and I don't snack. Just those things alone, I've saved so much money. I do these packets. I do these 3 times a day, sometimes 4. The tea, I drink 2 teas a day to keep that food hunger down so that I'm not thinking about it. And then I also do 2 fibers a day. And I don't want to tell you to do that, but I was so bad with my fiber, and this has helped me keep my gut healthy, so that has been a big thing that I had to do. But it's $5 a day for me to do this system. I mean, to me, that was a no-brainer. Like, I'm like, $5 a day. I was paying way more on going out to eat. Just I was always chasing that full feeling, like feeling satiated is the word I was thinking, what I should say. I was always chasing that, and I wasn't getting that because I was killing myself with glucose. I was killing myself with processed food. I was killing myself with not enough water. I was coffee all the time. I'd have a really nice fancy Stanley on my desk, but I wasn't using it. I was using the coffee because I was tired from that, right? So anyways, so that's it. That's what I want to share with you. So lifestyle changes, be consistent, be patient with yourself. If you are on a health journey and you're just starting something new, be patient with yourself. It's different. It's tough. It's tough to, you're stuck in your ways. 53 years I did the same thing, right? So to change myself at 53, I'll never look back. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. Whatever, we can't change it. But I just want to share with you what I've done. I do leave my phone number up there. Please text me. If you're international, you can WhatsApp me. My email address. Go through my old videos. You'll see me on my walking while I'm talking. Like, this has been going on for a while. My old videos, and please, I ask any questions that you have. I'm here to help. I just want to pay it forward. I need to. I feel like I can't say it enough how amazing I feel and how good this small life changes, the exercising, the time restricted eating, and the Feel Great system has done it for me. And I went back to the doctors last week, and I'm a 5.2, and she said to me, pick up your metformin just so you don't go back. So that to me was a sign, and I get it. I know MD means a doctor of medicine, so she felt like medicine is what's going to fix me. I did this naturally, a nutraceutical naturally, and I feel 100% amazing about it. And tomorrow I'll share some stories. I have to get to work, but I want to start sharing some people, friends that I've had, just family members, what it's done for them. I'll come back. I'll bring some pictures. My iPad was dead, of just the changes in just people that I know personally. So I know they work amongst the thousands of people who put them online, all of the things that they do. So it's a 90-day money back guarantee, which is the other thing that got me. I'm like, all right, I tried for 90 days. I've already been this sick. What's another 3 months? And in 90 days, I was not sending it back. I was ordering more because I knew that was my key, my crutch to getting, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, to get to the healthy part of my life. I needed that. And some people don't. And I applaud you if you are strong enough to not. I didn't. I had food noise. I ate terrible. My body was not well. And in a short period of time, I gave it everything it needed to run normal. My body isn't broken. It just was crying for help, right? So that's it. That's all I want to share with you. Guys, I love you all so much. I'm so proud that you all came to listen to me. Sorry that if I didn't have all the information, I have to get to work, but please follow me if you want to, or reach out with any questions. Like I said, that's my phone number and my email address. I'm an open book. I'll tell you what I know. And if I don't know it, I'll find out for you. There's so many fantastic people on this app that doctors and nurses and dietitians that all understand the system. So if it's not me, do it for yourself. It's we're in March now, in 3 months, imagine how good you can feel, like going to the beach and not being self-conscious or whatever it might be. And it's not a weight loss. It's, the weight loss is going to come. It's healing your internal. That's the important part to me. I fix my inside so my outside feels great, and you deserve that. I think everybody deserves to feel happy and strong and live your life to your best. You got one body to live in. Let's take care of it, right? Let's take care of it together. And even though we're only internet friends, let's just keep in touch. But guys, I love you so much. I appreciate you coming. Happy Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday. But any questions or anything you want me to talk about, please let me know. And if I missed any questions or comments, I am going to go through my comments after and respond.